Welcome back to the channel, ladies and gentlemen. This is most of my collection of garden tractors. I've got mostly John Deeres in here. There's a Cub over there, Gravely there, and a bunch of Gravely's in that corner. We're going to go over all of them. For those of you who have watched these update videos in the past, because I do them once a month via you guys' request, I'm going to do this one a little differently. Tell me down below in the comments if you like this style better or the way I have been doing it. This here is a 1968 John Deere 110 hydraulic lift side tag. I did get this one running on the channel, but it needs a ton of work. I will be restoring it eventually, but it's not a tractor that's real high on the priority list. So it'll sit around for a while first, but if you haven't seen the video on it, go check it out. It was definitely interesting. This is my 1968 112 hydraulic lift side tag. I bought this one, oh boy, when I was maybe a sophomore in high school and started restoring it. And this is all the further along it's got. I'd like to finish it up this year also. I'm not going to rebuild the engine for this though. It's just going to be a showpiece. It's not going to run. But it's a long time in the making. I was going to sell it, but I finally was able to find the 110 side tag like you just saw. So now I just need a 140H3 side tag. I'm not sure if I'm going to do any video on this tractor as far as the restoration, because I've already got this far along and I've not filmed any of it. So let me know down in the comments if you want to see the rest of it. This here is a 1969 112. It is not hydraulic lift, but it is a patio tractor. If you have not seen this tractor yet, the videos for this tractor are the most recent ones that came out before this video that you're seeing right now. And it was bad. As you see, I mean, it's still not done. I've done 2 videos on it, and this is all the further along it is. It still needs work. But it's a tickle rusty. It needs help. I do have a plan for this tractor. I'm not going to sell it. It is kind of a piece of crap to look at it, but mechanically it's pretty good, it's sound. And I do have a plan for this tractor, but it's going to be a long ways in the making because this thing is so incredibly rough condition. Everything was very rusty. This thing sat for a very long time, but it's just sitting over here because I got a different project in the shop now, but it's not going anywhere unless somebody offers me quite the pile of money for it. This is a 1971 John Deere 110 hydraulic lift. I bought this, well, I traded for this years and years ago and sold it to a friend who sold it to his brother, who I bought it back from. It did go through quite a beating while it was there. It was in much better shape when I sold it to them, but it wasn't treated exactly nicely. It wasn't used or anything like that a whole lot. So it does need restored. I'm going to rebuild the engine and restore it eventually, but it's kind of low on the priority list. Being just an 8-horse tractor, I'm not really going to use it much. This is a 1971 112 hydraulic lift. I purchased this over the summer, non-running, not too far from the house, maybe an hour, and got it running. I believe that's a video on the channel if you guys want to see it. And used it a little bit until I popped a hydraulic line. I do need to get that fixed pretty soon so as I can use this. I wanted to use this morning, but I did not get the hydraulic line replaced. It is cold out here today, but I'll eventually restore this one. But it's a pretty good tractor, so in the meantime, once I fix the hydraulic line, I'm just going to be using it on the channel. This is a 1971 John Deere 120. I picked this thing up probably 3-4 years ago in Kenton, Ohio. Well, that's where the dealer was. I don't remember exactly where I got it from, but I'm going to restore it eventually. I had started work on it. That's why this hood is done. I fixed the hood. It was broke. And I've gotten other projects that I want to jam in front of this tractor. I did have it running at one point and I don't remember why I stopped running it, but it hasn't run in several years, and it will be getting restored eventually. This is a 1971 140 H3. I bought this one like a year and a half ago, and actually I traded two 300s for it that didn't run. And it was just kind of one of those things. I saw it on Marketplace. I'm like, hey, I kind of want that. It had different rear tires on it, no weights, but it was set up otherwise the same way. And I got it here. It didn't charge. I had to do quite a bit of work to it, but now it runs, drives, mows, charges the battery. We swapped it from 10 amp to 15 amp system. That is not the factory engine, I don't think. But yeah, you guys have seen this one on the channel also, if you've been here real long. This is a 1970 110 hydraulic lift patio. As you see, it's pretty sad. It does need a little bit of help. This is the next one I'd like to restore, I think, because I have a bunch of parts laying around for it. And so I would like to get it knocked out and out of the way. Probably one of the next ones I do. So look forward to seeing this. Probably not this summer, but summer of 2026, I would say. I'll probably work on it. I did get it running on the channel though, so you can go back and watch that if you'd like. This is a 1970 112 hydraulic lift patio. I've had this one for probably 5 years or better, and it has been a darn good tractor. I bought it with a bad transmission not running, and it sat around for probably a year, and then I got it running, replaced the transmission, and then like a year ago or so, I fixed the original trans because it was an LSD transmission and put that back in. You guys saw me do all the work on this tractor on the channel. It's been a great tractor, and I'm going to continue to use this. It's not going anywhere. I'd eventually like to repaint it, but mechanically it's in good shape. I've done all the work to it it really needs so far. This one here is a 1970 120 patio. I bought this one about the same time I got this, but from a different place. We did get it running on the channel. I used it for several years. It did have a 14 horse Kohler in it though, and so that's obviously the wrong engine. And it did not charge the battery. It was kind of wacky the way they had it wired up. But we used it anyways for a little while, and I was going to restore this tractor next. But like I said, I want to do that 110 next, I think. And this one will just have to wait and be the following year. But it's going to get restored. The engine that's in it now is out of a 120 I parted out, so it's the correct 12 horse Kohler for it now. And when I redo it, I'll be rebuilding that engine. This is a 1970 John Deere 140 H3 patio. I've been restoring this one for the past 2 summers. It will be finished up this spring or summer. I need to repaint the hood because it got messed up. The paint fish-eyed a little when I clear coated it. Need to toss the seat on it. I do have a new old stock seat to put on it. And I did order the stuff I needed from Hapco, which was decal kit and some electrical stuff. So I believe I have everything to finish this tractor up. Once it warms up, it'll be coming over to the shop and getting finished up, and this tractor will be done. So watch for the video come summer on the restoration for this tractor. This is my 1973 140 H3. It's over here in the shop because I am currently putting this Haben sickle bar on it. This is a Haben 403 sickle bar, which is not correct for the John Deere, but is fitting. It's all completely mounted. I'm currently working on the drive system and rebuilding everything. I'm waiting for more ledger plates so I can replace those. They're actually supposed to be here today. And we've already put all new knife sections on the cutter bar. So once I get the ledger plates, I can get these all ground off here and replaced, put this thing all together, and it'll be ready to work this spring. So keep your eyes peeled. Maybe next weekend hopefully at least, for the video on this. But if you are just interested in the tractor, we did do several videos on it. We did get it running on the channel, and we've done some other work to it, got it charging. So if you're interested in seeing that, of course, go back through and look. I can't link all the videos because then I'd be linking most of my videos, and it would be a waste of time because then you'd have to search through the entire description. This is a 1974 140H3. We redid this one in 2022, if I remember correctly, on the channel. Been a great tractor. Has not run in a while. I did start it Tuesday when it was 50 degrees, and it ran good for 5 minutes, maybe 10, and then it acted like it was out of fuel. To be fair, the gauge does say it's pretty low, but I don't think it's that low. So we might have a little work to do to it in the spring. It's been buried all winter. This is the closest it's been to being able to get out in a long time. It's only got a few things in front of it. But this tractor had the blade on it for the longest time, but now it is just kind of sitting around. I don't really have a ton of use for it, so I'd use it for odd jobs here and there. It's got like 65 hours on a rebuild. I'm not trying to sell it, but if somebody wanted it, because I've been asked, I would sell it, but I'm not going to give it away or lose money on it. This is my 1975 John Deere 200. It is not original paint, despite having dealer stickers. I did previously think it was, but when I washed it this fall, found lots of evidence that it is not. I'm not really sure what the plan for this tractor is in the long run. I was going to leave it original when it was original, or when I thought it was, but I'm not sure if I'm going to restore it now. I probably will eventually at least repaint it and try and keep the dealer stickers. We'll see. But as of right now, it's just sitting around. I bought this one a long time ago. This is one that I've had for probably 5-6 years now. It's just sitting around. When I bought it, it was running and driving, but the transmission was loose, and I've just never touched it since I bought it. Put it in the barn, and it's run a couple times, but now it hasn't run in several years. This is a 1977 208 John Deere. It was bought running around at the same time. I think it was the last 200 series I bought for my collection, so it was after that. But it was low on power. Did some work to it, got some more power out of it, but it still was real low on power. So it's just mostly sat around. It now hasn't run in probably a year, year and a half. Eventually I'll do something with it, but again, the 8-horse tractors are not real high on the priority list, so it's just sitting. I did wash it last fall, and I do believe it's original, but I have no way to prove it. There's no dealer stickers or anything like that, but I don't see any proof or evidence that it was repainted. This is my original paint, John Deere 210 hydraulic lift. That hood is not original to it. That one is. I bought it not running and got it running and driving and used it for a little while until it gave up the ghost. It was really worn out when I first got it running, so it does need rebuilt. I'm going to rebuild the engine in it, put different tires on it, and that is it. I'm not going to do any paint work to it because it is all original paint. This is my 1975 John Deere 212. It's in the process of being restored. It's almost done, actually. I'm just waiting for Hapco to make a decal kit for it like they told me they would. They've been going kind of slow on it this time. When I asked for the 216 one, they did it really quick. I was impressed, but with this one, it's been over a year. Yeah, well over a year, probably a year and a half, almost 2 years maybe. And I have not gotten a decal kit yet. Last time I talked to them, they said that it was almost done. They were just getting a few odds and ends figured out and printed. We rebuilt the engine in this thing and have pretty much put it back together. Platform's not bolted down yet, just sitting on there. So it's not 100% done, but it's mostly done. You guys have seen some of the videos on this, but keep your eyes peeled next summer for the last video on this restoration. This is a 1975 John Deere 214 hydraulic lift. As you see, it's become a catch-all, like every flat surface that doesn't move. I was using it a summer and a half ago, so the summer of 23, to till the garden. Used it for a couple years. Last year I retired it because it needs a ton of work. It does run and drive. It actually hasn't in a while. I've just let it sit. But the engine was probably not factory in this tractor, because when I bought it, it had the wrong tins and shrouds, and all the bolt holes are stripped out. So all the tins and stuff rattle. It's ridiculously loud. It doesn't charge the battery, but everything else is good. Somebody painted it and did a crappy job. So eventually I'm gonna redo-ish this one. I'm gonna repaint it for sure. I'm not sure what I'm gonna do about the engine. I've considered drilling and tapping and making everything correct, or just buying a 75 214 and taking the engine out and rebuilding it and putting it in this one. I'm not really sure yet what direction I'm going to go. We'll just have to see what I'm able to find as far as a parts donor. This is my 1979 John Deere 216. Bought this one probably at least 6 years ago. This was the first 200 series I bought and decided to keep. From the original owner's, I think, grandson's friend. The friend had decided to save it from the scrap heap because that's where it was going. And when I bought it, everything was locked up. It wouldn't steer. The hydraulic lift was locked up. The transmission rolled and the engine wasn't stuck. But everything else was locked up. The one hub on the rear end of it was so loose, you can't even see splines in the hub. I don't know how it was even able to drive, but I got it running and driving, and I used that tractor for a very long time. It was my main workhorse, and I knew going into it when I first had it running and using it that I was going to need to rebuild it, and I still got several years out of it without rebuilding it. But 2 summers ago, so summer of 23, we restored this tractor back to its former glory. And it is definitely not perfect by any means. I don't do any of my restorations for myself perfect, because they are all going to get used and scratched up. But I still haven't really used it since then. I've put 4 hours on it, and I have not been able to get this thing to run right since I restored it. It always wants to surge and spit and sputter. I went to work on it the other day, and I think I found one of the reasons. I don't know if you're going to be able to see this or not. I think I might have a little bit of a vacuum leak in this carb. So I did buy a new carb back when I was restoring it, but I opted to use the original. So I'm going to have to find the new carb I bought and put it on, and hopefully that will take care of the issue. It does still run and drive. I used it to blade the driveway down like a week or 2 ago. But it does not run good. If you haven't seen the videos on this, make sure to go check them out. There was a whole series on this tractor. This is a 1980 one owner original 317, and when I say one owner, I mean one owner before me. The blade was not original to it. I bought that separately. It's just set up for plowing snow right now. The rear tires and rims and weights, not original to it. Front tires and rims, not original to it. Hubcaps, not original to it. Neither is the cab. I do have front tires and rims that are original to it. I also have the rear tires and rims that came on it, original rims, but oversized tires. You guys have seen that. This is its original sleeve hitch, I'm pretty sure. I picked this cab up last summer and decided that this was the perfect tractor to put it on. So we did a whole cab build out. Still not done. I've yet to find a good heat and air conditioning system. Once I do that, I'm going to button up all the wiring and make it look pretty, and this cab build will be done. But until then, I've been using it like this. We did get this running and driving on the channel, and if you haven't seen those videos, you should. The engine in this thing was junk when I bought it. Did end up fixing that, and now it's a good usable tractor. But It was not when I bought it. So if you haven't seen those videos, those are some more I recommend. Those were probably 2-3 years ago now. This is a one owner original 1975 John Deere 400. It is the 380th 400 to roll off the assembly line from Deere. I bought it from the original owner, obviously. These tires, not original. Seat, not original. And it did not have 3-point when I bought it. The original deck is laying over in the other barn, but it's junk, so it's leaving. I've been using the heck out of this thing, and there is several videos of this tractor on the channel, so go check those out if you haven't seen them. Put this hour meter in it when I got it, because it had sat outside before I got it, and it didn't work. I've put 33 hours on this tractor since I bought it, and most of that has been in the past year, because it did not get used before that, because the hydraulics were not functional. So go check out some of the other videos on this tractor. This is my one owner original paint 1967 Gravely 430. Yes, I do have the hood for it. I just don't keep it on because I don't trust the wiring harness in it. Actually, I rewired it now, so I could put the hood on and leave the battery hooked up, but I don't want to. I always unhook all my batteries for safety reasons. And yeah, this one's completely operational now. I use it, it charges the battery. We've done a boatload of work to it. It's been a great tractor. If you haven't seen any of the videos on it, I bought it 2 springs ago at an auction for $100, not running. We got it running and driving on the channel and used it. First thing we did on the channel, I believe, was mowed part of a hayfield with a sickle bar. This is a 1969 Gravely 432. I bought this one last summer, and I did get it running on the channel, so you guys have seen this one. It's been a pretty good tractor. I mowed with it through the summer, and it's one that I'm going to keep. I wanted the yellow 432 to match my 430, so that's why I picked this one up. This tractor is an 812. Yes, I know the hood says 814. That hood is off of that tractor. The 812 hood is under that hood. This is an 812. It is my parts tractor for my 814. I bought this and it was supposed to run, but it didn't. I did get it running pretty easily. It just needed, I think, the points cleaned or something. I don't think this tractor's ever really been on the channel except in these update videos. I had it for a week, and in that week I put a bunch of time into it, got it running, driving, and the first time I took it out to try and use it, the snap ring popped off the axle, and I don't remember which side anymore, on the inside on the diff. So now the axle will just slide out of the transmission. Otherwise, everything worked on that tractor. It was a great tractor. Nothing wrong with it. But it's just been sitting since because that's not helpful to me. And it is now going to be the parts tractor for my 814. Then it'll be going down the road or getting parted out. Back here is my original paint, one owner 814. That's what this hood is from. This tractor came from Youngstown, where it was bought new, and it was in terrible shape when I got it. You guys saw a video. We got this thing running and driving, and it definitely needs a lot of help still. The hydraulic lift works, the engine runs good, transmission seems good, but all 3 clutches need replaced. Forward and reverse clutches are both junk, and the PTO clutch is also junk. So that's going to be a project for later this year, is getting that taken care of. And then this tractor is going to be one that I use. It's not going anywhere. I'm keeping it. It'll get some rear bar tires and keep them 3 ribs. This here is 2 Gravely 566 tractors. One of them, the complete one, the tag is missing. And this one, I believe, was a 76, if I remember correctly. I'm going to combine the 2 of them and make one in the spring. We did get that one running and driving and used it a little bit on the channel, so you guys have seen that. But someone repainted that one at some point. It is a one-owner tractor before I got it, but it had been repainted, unfortunately. And this one, they both came from the same guy. The guy I bought that one from had bought this one from his neighbor, who was the original owner. And so I'm going to use as much of this tractor as I can. As you see, it's not complete. Part of the engine is laying back there, just a block, lots of parts missing. So I'm going to try and use all the sheet metal from this tractor. As you see, that battery box is painted goofy colors. And, you know, it's just, I like the original paint better. So I'm going to use as much of this tractor as I possibly can. I don't know why it was taken apart, so I'm not going to use anything mechanical. But all the rods, like that one's painted black back there. Both of them are. So I'm going to use the ones off of this tractor. Handlebars, that one's painted chrome, so I'm going to use these because they're still original. Also, those aren't factory grips. Those are. So I'm going to use as much of this tractor as I can, and we're going to make 1 out of 2. The rest of it's going to get parted out. And as much as I don't like to do that, that's pretty much my only option, because I don't have enough parts to save this tractor, and I don't know what was wrong with it, why they took it apart. So keep an eye out for the video when we do that. If you haven't already seen these two tractors, go and check that video out. It was this fall. I bought this one. Well, I bought them both and got this one running on the channel. These two tractors, we're going to do them together. They are both 432s. This one's a 72. That one's a 71. This one we got running on the channel. That one we bought running and rewired it on the channel. Both of them are going to be for sale, $500 each, or best offer. I do have mower decks that I can sell with them, but they're not included for that price. That one has a rebuilt engine. I do have the paperwork for that, but it needs a governor, or something with the governor is not working. So if it doesn't sell, I will eventually fix that and might even keep the tractor. We'll see. But this one, there's nothing wrong with it. Neither of them have run in quite a while. They've just been sitting here. When I have this many tractors, the ones that I'm going to sell, I don't really use because I don't want to break things that I have to fix. So both of them are for sale. Like I said, $500 a piece. If you want both of them, I'd make you a package deal for both. This is a 1980 John Deere 111. As you can see, it's a Tickle Custom. It's lifted up in the air quite a ways, and it is 4-wheel drive. This is the second time I've owned this tractor, and I am not doing anything with it, so I am now going to sell it. If anybody wants it, let me know down in the comments. The first time I owned it, I did new air filter, if I remember right, new coil pack. I did choke and throttle cables. I got all the linkages working and lubricated correctly. Did a ton of work to this thing. I did some wiring in it, and I had bought a muffler, never got around to putting it on, and then sold it. The guy I bought it from, all he did was throw this gas tank on it, and he said he got it running, drove it back and forth once, and it sat ever since, but he left it outside, so lots of things need re-lubricated. But he said everything did work. It's a 5 or 6 speed. It's a 5-speed side shift, and it is a engineering something. It's interesting, that's for sure. So if you want that, let me know down in the comments. Obviously, that's not the factory engine. It's a 14-horse opposed twin Briggs. This is a 1970 John Deere 120. I bought this one with another tractor that I bought, and I just wanted this one to get running and sell, and when we worked on it, it ended up being blown up. So if you guys have seen that video, then you already know a lot of the information about this. If you have not seen that video, go check it out. I would recommend it. This thing was blown up when I bought it, but there was no way to tell because someone was real good at running a forklift or a skid steer with forks and dented in the engine cover to the flywheel so the engine wouldn't turn. This thing did run and drive. Transmission's strong, but it does still need some work. I'm going to be selling this one. Try and get back out of it what I have in it. It's just going to go down the road because I already have 2 other 120s, and I don't have enough space to keep other ones. Otherwise, this is a decent tractor for restoration, but it does have the wrong engine. It's also got a 14 horse in it, so I'm not sure what the deal is there. But that's the deal with this tractor. This is a one owner original 1986 John Deere 210. Got this one running on the channel and put a mower deck under it. It's going to be for sale now. I built it for someone who was supposed to buy it, and then his wife evidently told him, nope, we're buying a new mower. We don't want an old tractor. So I did mow with it some a couple summers ago, but it's just sat. It does need a new deck belt. Other than that, it's ready to go. Runs, drives, charges the battery, tires hold air. It's a pretty good tractor. I rebuilt the deck. Let me know if you're interested in that also. This is a 1977 John Deere 210. Got the wrong decal on it. I've got it. I bought this in late December or early January. I don't even remember when anymore. And it's supposed to have a newer motor in it, but I cannot confirm or deny that yet. I haven't touched it yet. It's going to be one of the next projects that I get running to resell. But if somebody did want it the way it sits, I would sell it that way also. It seems to be in decent enough shape, but it did sit for a very long time. This one came with another tractor I bought also. I bought it for the other tractor. This is just one that came with it. This is, I believe, a 1993, if I remember correctly, Cub Cadet 1730. It was free on the side of the road, and so I picked it up. I let other people have the chance for quite a while. I left it sit out there for a week or two. Nobody took it, so I did. I'm going to get it running and sell it in the spring. It's been here since November, and well, I haven't done anything to it. So if you're interested in buying it, I would sell it how it is, but I would also sell it, you know, once I get it running. So if you want me to get it running sooner and sell it to you, let me know in the comments. It's not going to be free because I'm going to have to put money into it to get it running, but I'd try to make somebody a good deal on it once it's running. So watch for that video. It'll be out eventually. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and subscribe. And if you want to see more content just like this and everything else I've got, make sure to let me know in the comments what you want to see. Thanks guys for watching. I'll catch you on the next one.